Hey Capricorn, how about a message from your metal dog today? I am working my way through the cardinal signs and I have a message for you from your future self. I was just thinking about what it means, Capricorn, that you are an earth sign, which is nice and steady. And I think of the Knight of Pentacles, the slow poke A student with the plan. Although I've had a Capricorn friend who had absolutely no plan whatsoever. It was just, there was a plan, we had to do it, but there wasn't actually like a map of how to get there. And I found, perhaps from my Saturn and Taurus corner, I wanted to know exactly what was going to happen, one thing after the other. So anyway, you, my dear, you have a message from your future self, and I'm going to just take you on this little reading. We'll lay out a baseline, and then we will clarify. We're using the Urban Tarot, a Thoth-based deck. So I'm learning a little bit more about Thoth this way because I tend to read the Rider-Waite-Smith. Wow, you are appearing in this reading today with all your intuition in the bathtub as the High Priestess. So you are in a place of intuitive knowing, of perhaps being closed, quiet, secretive, self-care. It looks like you got the candles lit and you're in this purple bath. And the High Priestess, you, as you appear in this reading today, looking up. I see you looking to the universe for divine inspiration. Perhaps you are listening, High Priestess Cappy, for your future self. Who is your future self? You are appearing here with your friend. Looks like a fun day of video games here. The Four of Cups. This is a card called Luxury. It doesn't look that luxurious, but there's plenty of milk and cookies here in this image of luxury. Sorry, the sun is going down. I thought it was going to be out of the way enough where I could show you these cards. I feel this strong urge to do this reading. So, you're on a journey. This journey is what the card of luxury, your future self sitting there with all the milk and cookies, a new, fresh, full cup of milk there to call your attention when you may be focusing on what's been spilled, what's been emptied. That is the state of the Four of Cups. Look at this new Ace of Cups, this new emotional beginning. So here you are, telling your High Priestess self, and it's kind of funny to have like such a minor card, the Four of Cups, telling the High Priestess what to do or giving her advice, because High Priestess, you already intuitively know this. You just maybe need to accept that new cup. Let's see. All right, you are on an Empress journey. So this is earthy, supportive, nurturing, could be parenting. No, that hasn't come through when I look at this card before. There's the moon. We've got a full moon, a full lunar eclipse as well coming up here at the end of May. Perhaps that is something to do with timing as you set out on this journey. It's a very, very much this deep person who is a caretaker. And this is the journey. We will find out more about this journey as we clarify. I've made the face because I just did a reading for Aries and they had the same journey. So I was like, oh, what else am I going to say about this journey? But there's always something new. It's like, for you, it's different than it was for Aries. That's kind of cool about reading the cards here. All right, your future self, one of these, I don't know, I think of them as like boyfriends. Kind of, they're both, one has a remote in his hand and the other is looking at his phone. So there's a kind of future, this is a relationship. They're close enough that their arms are touching. they're in their underwear. It's like they're kind of used to each other in the future. And maybe they're taking each other for granted. But there is a new beginning here offered. And they want you to know these future selves of yours, versions of yourself. They want you to know that you can release the Knight of Cups, the seducer. No, the Knight of Cups, and whenever I see this, I think of the classy love offer. Seducer doesn't really speak of that. You know, this card is a nice fella here. This card, okay, so you are being advised to let go of the Knight of Cups and embrace the Queen of Wands. I love this card. She is the public defender, very passionate. It's very much like the Strength card here with a woman who is with a wild animal. The Queen of Wands usually has a black kitty cat with her, and here we have a fantastic jaguar. So looking out here. Yeah, so the Queen of Wands, a very passionate approach. Much more justice oriented than love centered. So that's what these guys here in luxury, your future self, want you to shift towards this orientation, away from the Knight of Cups. Like, I kind of get a feeling here in this reading that you, Cappy, have been maybe overly focused on love, on romantic love. Here, the Knight of Cups. Looking for this kind of nurturing in love, or to give nurturing in a romantic relationship. But the future you says, and you already intuitively know this because you have the High Priestess, this is where you want to put your heart, into a higher calling that is a justice-oriented calling. This is, you will love yourself when you do this work. That's what this reading is telling you. And it doesn't matter, because in the future, like whatever this love relationship, it just, the chemistry ends. And then you're just two sweethearts watching TV. One's on the phone, one's got the remote. There's plenty of milk and cookies. That's luxury. That's your future. You don't have to focus so much on that here. So that's what's going on here. Wow, the light's really, really interesting. Anyway, that sort of helps. Okay. Underlying energy for this reading. There is some kind of worry about the future. The security realm of the Five of Pentacles is definitely not a comfortable place. The images of getting a diagnosis. But the underlying energy is that you are worrying, and what I see you worrying about in your bath, High Priestess, you're worrying about who's going to love you. But I'm going to tell you, there's love in your future. It's the homey luxury. And the way that you find your way there is through a path, not of being the seducer. You're going to be advised to leave that. Quit looking for somebody. Look for yourself in the work that you are meant to do in the justice area, like that work of a public defender. Okay. Empress here is also making me think of your earthiness, Capricorn. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the Brady Tarot very earthy deck to clarify this reading. That's my instinct. So what kind of justice work are you going to be doing? That's one of the things I want to know. What are you doing right now in the bathtub as the High Priestess? You're thinking about what you already intuitively know here. You already know what your future little boyfriends are saying about the comforts of love, the luxury of that daily love. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. High Priestess. We have the Four of Wands, optimism, or it's a Four of Feathers in this deck. This is a card where we see these adorable little ground squirrels who are having a little dance. It looks like a ceremony here. And the Four of Wands, optimism, it's about, you don't have to worry, right? That's your underlying energy, worry. So you can be optimistic. It directly answers that. You intuitively know that. And in the Four of Optimism, what are you optimistic about? Meeting your match, having that connection, being with your people. It's very often interpreted as a wedding, so either you're focused on that or you're in it already, because that's where you're showing up here in the present in the Four of Optimism. You're also showing up here in another four, a place of healing, withdrawal. And this is such an interesting image where the bird has camouflaged itself to appear as a part of the tree. And so these four arrows, which represent the suit of swords in the tarot in this deck, are missing that bird. The bird is camouflaged and safe. And when you withdraw, this is something that you do to heal. You're safe, protected, healing. So you're very much in the fours. We see you, the healing reiterates this sort of self-care scene of the High Priestess. And thirdly, there is a Five of Cups, some loss that you are working through. Perhaps you've recently lost your partner. There's some kind of relationship has come to an end and you are healing from that in the water, like this High Priestess. Yeah, this little raccoon here these are really beautiful cards. Take a little moment to look at them. This little raccoon here is coming to the spilled water for a drink and does not see there's a Two of Cups awaiting. Your future self appearing here in this adorable little gay couple is assuring you of that as well. There's three fours here, and we're seeing that you are currently going through some kind of loss, and that's why you're worried. That's why you're worried, because now you're wondering, okay, well, who's going to be taking care of me? Oh, how interesting. And who should be on the bottom of this deck but what you're being told to embrace, the Queen of Wands. This might be a person who is in your future, that your future selves are saying, there is somebody, a Queen of Wands here, the Mother of Arrows in this deck, who is very cat-like, very passionate, can be a bit dramatic, very justice-oriented. Yeah, I can't quite see. She's opening some kind of pod here with her arrow. Mother of Arrows. I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. Mother of Arrows is Queen of Swords in this deck. Pardon me. But don't discount that, because mistakes in tarot, they mean something in the message as well. So it may be that you turn towards justice work, or there is a person who does justice work coming in. She's also coming through here as someone with clarity and intellect. She's that cat. Oh, right? So we can see the cat in your embrace is underlying where you are presently. That's interesting. There's also reiteration of justice where you are right now. A need to change your perspective. Okay, so we see this justice. This is this card. I want to give you a chance to look at it. And then we can see the hanged one. The hanged one hanging upside down here. And when you hang upside down, like this little possum, you can see the world in a new way. And this is part of what's happening as you go into this withdrawal over this loss of what appears to have been, this beautiful Four of Wands person or situation of optimism. So you're doing some healing and some perspective shifting. And this is a part of what is giving you clarity on this call to justice. That's why, even though your future selves are saying, focus on being the Queen of Wands or being a part of justice as the public defender, you already know that when you got the High Priestess, you already have clarity on that. So that's the underlying message here. Okay, well, let's clarify this journey, this Empress journey. We know you're worried about this. We know you're grieving. We know you're healing. There is a call to justice here. And this is where the journey, this epitomizes this journey. It is an Empress journey. So let's find out more about this. First of all, we have a Father of Wands, or feathers. And I read that correctly this time. The arrows in this deck are wands. The feathers in this deck are wands. The arrows are swords. So the Father of Feathers is a very alpha, sort of a match for the Empress energy, in that she's very supportive. The Father of Feathers, it's like I'm feeling like so trapped in this binary logic of tarot when I'm reading this. But this is a decisiveness. I know what I want, and I'm going to go after it. It gets read as masculine, but why? We all feel that. Does that mean it's my masculine side that is strong and all the powerful things that make things happen? I really don't see why it has to be a masculine side. I'm just really annoyed by this. Okay, there's also a Seven of Cups here, card of breach. Seven of Cups is about choices, but it's also about illusions and a lack of clarity, kind of really quite opposite to the energy of the Father of Feathers, who we see here kind of. I'm thinking of how you had the Five of Cups and, this grieving process. Like, I really do see a phoenix rising from the fire here in this Father of Feathers image. The breach here is, instead of rising up, is really going down into the depths, all of the waters flowing down into this pool under the earth, under a starry night. I want to look at this card here, Capricorn, and let's see, what is this Seven of Cups or horns about? Let's see. I promise I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read a little bit. The wonderful details of this card, and at the same time a looming sense of danger, give it a greater complexity than many Seven of Cups cards. The emphasis lies in fantasies and daydreams, but there is a genuine crisis here. The beavers need to wake up and recognize it. Okay, so now I can see. Oh, wow, the light. Okay, so this is a beaver dam. You can see the little beavers are asleep on the top of the dam, and there is a hole in the dam, and the water is flowing out. So these little beavers are dreaming, and they need to wake up because their dam is being breached here. So neglect of duties or signs of danger can create a crisis that may have been avoided. Now is not the time to be distracted by all of the new ideas. I'm really sorry about the sun there. Okay, I'm glad I looked that up because that does add a lot of meaning. Yeah, on this Empress journey that you are on, there's a feeling of danger, right? There's fire, there's flood, there's passion, there's a lot of emotion here as well. And thirdly, there is further sign of heartbreak. This is a 10 of swords, 10 of arrows in this deck, finality. Wow. And we saw that little possum there in the Hanged Man getting new perspective. This is a little possum who has definitely reached the end of a painful cycle. So there is a heartbreak here. This journey is tough, my friend. Capricorn. Fire, flood, heartbreak. I'm glad that this Empress, this Empress, this is very much about earth justice here. This justice that you're called to is about our planet. There is, if you're the kind of Capricorn that in your earthiness is concerned about Earth, the planet, this reading is about that concern, that is worry, that is actually a call to focus there. You've been very focused on this sort of personal love life, the seducer. And this reading, your future selves want you to say, don't worry about that. We've got that. It's all set. It's the plan. We're together here in the future with whoever. We're gonna turn away from this Knight of Cups somehow. Let's find out some more details about that. Future selves say, release the seducer. Release, another image, the son of arrows. Release this intellectual, strategic. It's the Knight of Swords here. Fast moving. What else? Victory. Lots of willpower. Bird swooping down out of the sky to capture the snake. These are both, there's a fox or a wolf here. A couple of predators here. Maybe this Knight of Cups is a person in your life, this person who broke your heart, left you in loss, left you in this really painful 10 of arrows finality. It's going to take you this journey that you're being told about to really emotionally finish with this. But it looks here a little bit like what you're being advised to release is this kind of vain, fast, brutal person, the seducer. Or if you're acting like that, quit it. That's the other way to read this. Quit being like that. That's dangerous. It's a real distraction from what you're clearly called to, something much higher. And we get, the Son of Feathers. This is the Knight of Wands, the hustler, player. And look at this. It's a beautiful image of somebody appearing as a knight this is Whitebird, and is actually a raven underneath that. There's lots of deception and brutality here. As I see, what I see is like a black bird coming out of the guise of a white bird. It seems like a peaceful seeming person is actually not showing up that way. And that's not always how I would read this Son of Feathers, although the Son of Feathers or the Knight of Wands is like the player in the deck, as some read it. But I just see what all of these images are really about. Either you're behaving like this, kind of the seductive, dangerous predator, or you are dealing with somebody who is like that. And I don't like their energy at all for you. You're experiencing this in a much more Four of Wands, Five of Cups process of loss. Here, the Earth and Earth Justice are calling to you, but you're very much caught up in the devil should be here in this very fast, very powerful, red hot, orange, fiery, showy. Victory is a great card, with other cards, but in this case, victory is, it's almost like a narcissist here. So quit it if you're doing that. I don't know. How do you quit being a narcissist? Yeah. Okay. I think it's somebody that you need to let go of, though. I'm just saying quit it because I don't know. I don't really like, as a tarot reader, when the cards are like, it's time to leave that person or watch out for them. To me, that feels like well out of the scope of the kind of advice that you should take from a tarot reader on YouTube. But I'm just translating the cards for you, honey. Okay, Capricorn. It could be some other situation, not a romantic one. There's actually not much love here, but there's a lot of fire and sharp arrows and feathers. There's feathers and wands, and there are arrows or swords here. Okay, your future selves in their little milk and cookies luxury want you to embrace instead the public defender, just this Queen of Wands. She's actually my favorite queen in any deck. I don't care. I love her cat, but I love the passion, and I just think drama's worth it, usually. Her kind of drama. It's a great, very red-haired queen. Okay, Cappy, what do we have here? Okay, embrace the Queen of Wands, the world. There's an ending. We've seen it coming here. We saw it with the 10 of arrows. We see lots of really, okay, so there's an ending. With it is also a call to defend the earth here. Yeah, this is what it's like totally like get out of this romance addiction into doing something for your planet. Okay? That's a good way to interpret this reading. Nobody has to worry about narcissists or anything, but no shame about the romance addiction, let me tell you. But there's more to life than whatever, being the Son of Feathers or hooking up with the Knight of Cups, the seducer. Love supports your work for earth justice is what I see the message here. And there is a Two of Cups, union. This is much more what we're talking about. We want you to embrace equal give and take of a union. This is on an emotional relationship level. That's what these little cuties have, It's a new love, to embrace that, a true emotional love, not all these wandsy, fiery, lusty. That's fun too. You can have that. in union. But it's also a card that speaks more, again, reiterates, there's a lot here about you doing work that is justice-centered, that is about equality, and it's about your planet here. And not just because I picked these beautiful earthy cards, but because we see the Empress here representing your journey here, which is an earth-based calling. And there is also here departure. So we're seeing you leaving an old, unfulfilling way of life here that's told to you twice through the world and also through departure, which is the Eight of Cups. And in the Eight of Cups, there's just a missing cup, and it's time to move on to go find the one that is missing. We can see these dragonflies are being born, and their wings drying, and then they're flying. And there's two paths here to take. And I really see that clearly in your reading. This is, you're being called to a cup, an emotional, heart-based journey, but you're very much tending towards this love addiction. That's all. It just feels like this love thing, whatever it is distracting you from your unfulfillment in that life. Like you could be somebody who, Capricorn, I'm just going to say it, like I'm 50, so I don't get it, but like one of these swipers that's just like dating 5 or 6 people every week, and that takes up so much time that you could be giving to a worthier cause. That's what the cards say. Okay, so you in the future. This is who's giving you this advice. I submit to you the possibility that you can just thumb your nose at this advice. Who are these guys, your future self, that want you to choose earth justice, equality, some kind of more fulfilling life than the one you're leading? They see danger. The earth is in danger and needs you to fight for it. What else do they want you to know? So they have a 3 of Wands perspective. There's that cat again. Is that you in this reading? The cat with your Queen of Wands, this counterpart that's a better match for you? So there's still passion here. This is vantage. It's like you're up above and you've envisioned the world, and then you're seeing it appear. You're just looking out at the horizon for what you manifested when you're in a 3 of Wands or feathers here. Okay, what else? Judgment. Call to ascension. And here is I'll show you. I'm like, what is that? There's like a big raptor who has a snake, and there's all these bats flying up out of the cave. This is such a beautiful image of judgment, which is a card of ascension. It's like it's time to move to your higher self, right? And judgment only takes those who are ready to ascend. The presence of the world here in this public defender life suggests that this way, perhaps you can find, earn ascension in judgment. And thirdly, there is fulfillment. Remember, you were being called to by an 8 of Cups. Well, your future selves here with their big cup of milk are saying there is fulfillment ahead. So what I see happening here, and this is a different way from how your journey appears. It's like a very clear warning in this reading from your future selves. that if you continue on the path that you're on, this path of this player, this predatory, powerful, kind of shallow, quick living that you're in, it may be fun. It's this life. If you continue on this path, there is this. There's still going to be this painful ending. There's danger. There's danger on the path that you are on. There's danger to you, and there's danger of an ending to this that nurtures you. This heart-based, loving aspect of yourself that feeds you, that is about your earth justice calling. That is your other choice, right? The world calls you to be with this Queen of Wands. This is you, kitty cat, Cappy. You're showing up here as this beautiful cat, right? And in the future, your future self has the advantage. They can see from where they are that you ought to choose wisely at this moment, really between a very seductive and fast life and the slow, steady, spiritually fulfilling justice work that is engaged really in saving the planet. And my consciousness saw this, but we see justice work here. Sweet little sleepy badger digging down into the earth with those paws that were made to dig into the earth. There's your choice. This is underlying energy of this reading, the bottom of the deck. These are your two choices. It's not easy to make this decision. You're looking inward. That's why these animals are blindfolded. They're both stabbed by arrows representing swords. This is truth, swords. It almost looks like one of them is peeking out of the blindfold there. So, okay, here's the scarcity. This is the same card that you got in the other deck. This is the exact same card. 5 of Pentacles, and this is the 5 of Roots, means scarcity, and this one means worry. So there is happiness. This is your last card. Your happiness is at stake here. The Sun. This is authenticity. Yeah, this is a choice between a life that is impoverished, scarce, full of worry, and doing the work. This is your other choice. Doing the work, this earth work that brings you into your authentic little goldfinch self under the sun. Wow, Capricorn, this is a really powerful, clear message from your future self. And if you are in this dilemma between two really clear ways, two clear pathways for living your life, your future self is quite clear that from where they see it, one road leads to pain and destruction, and the other, it leads you to the sun. To if you put the work in, this justice work, you, as the kitty cat here, and this Queen of Wands, like, remember, you're worrying about finding love and filling this hole with all this sex, all this sort of, it's passionate work. It's not always bad. I love passion and fire, but today, Capricorn, your future self, one of these boyfriends here, is saying, look at the cups, look at your heart. The calling is to the earth, not to seduction. So take or leave. We all have free will. I think I agree. And I think because you appear here as the High Priestess, you already know this. You don't need me or your future selves to tell you this. So, good luck.